What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with an actual Nintendo Switch first party sale. You know, the games that people say Nintendo never discounts, which is like partly true, but still, we've got an actual sale on first party games. So let's go ahead and get into that sale, guys. Plus, there are a number of other really good third-party games on sale. Now, Nintendo is calling this Share the Fun sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop, highlighting a lot of really cool, colorful type of games that you can play while you're locked up in the same room or in the same house as your family or friends. So the whole list will be right here for you guys. Also, link in the description to check out all the prices. I'm going to be going over a few titles I think you guys should check out. Now, of course, we're going to start off with these first party games, and ARMS on the Nintendo Switch. This game is kind of underrated in my opinion. It got better and better as they released updates to the game, and not at this point, while they're done supporting it with new content like characters or like gameplay modes, there's still stuff that's going on for the game in certain like bashes and things like that. Plus, there's still an online community. If you want to hop into this game and get a few matches online, you can definitely do so. And the cool thing about this game, 60 frames per second, completely smooth. I think 1080p resolution looks good in portable mode and also looks good in docked mode. And the online play is silky smooth. I rarely ever encounter lag in the game because of the unique way that the game plays. It absorbs the lag when you're stretching the punches, so it just makes for a super smooth experience online. We played it a few weeks ago with the community and everything ran really well. Bunch of cool modes with 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3, and 3-player battle royales, all sorts of stuff going on. So ARMS is definitely one of those games you should check out and get a nice little deal on it too. The next game up here is Luigi's Mansion 3. I reviewed this game last year and it is a very technically impressive game. The graphics are some of the best on the Switch. The sound design is spot on as well, and the puzzles and the mechanics work really good with the Switch. The use of HD Rumble, the mechanics within Luigi can employ to take down ghosts and solve puzzles is phenomenal, and it's one of those games that's a lot longer than you think it would be. I spent 20 hours plus playing this game, and there's also online play as well. Local co-op for friends and family, and online play for those distant friends and family if you want to go take down some ghosts online. So it's actually a complete package and really good, and it's actually the best selling Luigi's Mansion game like ever. When it comes to the franchise, it's the best one on Switch, and it hasn't even been out for a full year at this point. So those are the two first party games that I would recommend. There's one more, and that's 1-2 Switch. Not so sure about that game. I mean, it's fun in short bursts, but unless you have somebody to actually play it with quite a bit, not so sure about that. But it is on sale for $34.99. Now, some of the third party games that I would recommend, Catherine Full Body. Very good, mature puzzle type of game with a bunch of added content in the original release. So definitely check out Catherine Full Body. That is $39.99. Also, another good game, Cuphead on the Nintendo Switch. You guys know good and well what Cuphead is all about, but if you don't, local co-op going through old school side scroller, reminds me of a really cartoony version of like Contra or something like that. So very good game as well. Plus, there's some other stuff that I've heard about that is pretty good. So stuff like Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. That's one of the highest rated games released this generation. One of the highest rated games on the Switch. Might want to check that one out if you're into Western RPGs. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, another really good Western RPG that has some exclusive Nintendo Switch content with Ganondorf being playable. Divinity Original Sin 2 is $34.99 and it's usually $49.99, whereas Diablo 3 is $29.99 on sale and it's usually $59.99. Now, there's a bunch of other games as well, like Streets of Rage 4, Super Meat Boy, Torchlight 2, Unravel 2. So the full list will once again be the link in the description below, but those are my picks. So what are you guys' picks for this sale here? Anything you plan on picking up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, now moving on to the next topic here, guys. We've got the Famitsu sales, and Nintendo is absolutely blowing things up in Japan. This is some crazy summer sales, some of the craziest sales that I've seen for a system ever since I've been covering sales for like the past 10 years on this platform. Nintendo Switch is doing extremely well. I think even better than what Japanese developers or Western developers even thought, because we've got the new sales numbers here, guys, and the Nintendo Switch sold a staggering in the past 2 weeks because there was a holiday and the Famitsu sales didn't update, but in the past 2 weeks, the Nintendo Switch sold 322,037 units compared to the PlayStation 4's 8,523 units and the Nintendo 3DS's 2,007 units. So if you look at that slice of the market, the Nintendo Switch is easily 90% plus of the Japanese market. Games like Animal Crossing New Horizons and Ring Fit have been the drivers for growth, in addition to previously released evergreen titles like Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, Animal Crossing tacked on another 214,000 units plus in the past 2 weeks, raising its total to 5.551 million units. Ring Fit Adventures getting a lot more stock in Japan. That game tacked on another 93,000 units plus for a total of 1.3 million units in Japan alone. Now, some things to realize here, guys, is that the Japanese sales do not include digital. So just imagine that the past 2 weeks, the physical sales are all there, but the digital sales for the Nintendo Switch games, PlayStation 4, whatever the cases, are not included. So Animal Crossing is just doing amazing because the digital sales of Animal Crossing are the highest of any first-party Nintendo Switch game to date. So imagine that. And it's just really just driving and fueling the sales here. Another thing to note here too, guys, is that the Nintendo Switch, with the way that it's building momentum in Japan, we could see record-breaking sales in the holiday whenever they do release whatever that game will be, which I'm thinking it's going to be the 3D Mario Collection. We could see some insanely high record-breaking sales that top of what we've seen before on the PlayStation 4 or on the Nintendo Wii or the Nintendo DS. I mean, it's looking like it is going to break that, considering we're getting 173,000 plus, 150,000 plus in the summer just with Animal Crossing. There's going to be a lot more people picking up Nintendo Switches in the holiday, especially with what's going on in Japan. I mean, it's just crazy to see, and I don't think anybody predicted this type of success. Maybe some people did, but right now at this point, guys, the Nintendo Switch is trending higher in terms of sales projection than the PlayStation 4, and it's slowly but surely catching on to the projection of the Nintendo Wii, which you guys know how well that system sold in a very short amount of time, 100 million in like 4 or 5 years. So what do you guys think about these sales here and this explosion? I do have a separate video that I'll be doing talking about another game, Japanese developers, and the sales here, so look out for that. But I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here. It looks like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 will be coming to the Nintendo Switch at some point. Now, all we've got in terms of an official confirmation is the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 plus the PC this September. I actually have my special Birdman edition of that on the Xbox One pre-ordered. It was 99 bucks and you get an actual deck, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. I used to skate back in the day, and I also used to play Tony Hawk like crazy back in the day on various different platforms. However, data miners, you know, these data miners, they've kind of dug a little bit deeper into the demo of the game, and they found some evidence that this title will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, hidden in the demo's files are screens of a Nintendo Switch, a pair of Joy-Con and a grip, and a Pro Controller. These images were taken from the THPS GOAT Discord and have been shared on Twitter by the user Darth Bellic. So it's something that I figured that Activision would do, because they late port a lot of stuff on the Switch, especially if it's not like their shooters or their hardcore mature titles, right? They kind of port a lot of those over. Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing, Spyro, games like that have all came over to the Switch from Activision. So I'm guessing that this one's going to be a little bit later down the line, maybe a late 2020 release or an early 2021 release. Maybe Nintendo's waiting and Activision are waiting to have some type of special or something with the Nintendo Direct with these games, because while this started on PlayStation, there's a lot of history between the Tony Hawk franchise and Nintendo platforms, including like a GBA game, of course the N64 game, I mean the GameCube games were there. So Tony Hawk has had a history on Nintendo platforms, including the Wii as well. So I would expect there to be Tony Hawk on the Switch, and it makes perfect sense for a skateboarding game. You know, skaters, they get their skateboard and go out places, to be able to go to the skate park and have Tony Hawk to play right there. That's why they made the GBA version of the game back in the day. So I'm expecting there to be some type of announcement at a Direct or just some other time period. They're gonna say, hey, you can buy Tony Hawk Pro Skater on the Nintendo Switch, and they're gonna get people to double dip because they've already gotten into double dip, because I already bought the game, because it wasn't originally coming to the Switch, and I didn't think that it would be like where we find this much evidence. I thought it was gonna be like much later, like, and then all of a sudden, like, okay, here it is. You know, I knew it was gonna come at some point, but I didn't know that it was going to be found out this early. But we don't know exactly when it's going to be coming. We don't know what the details are, or maybe they thought that they had plans for it and they ultimately end up saying, no more plans at all. Maybe they just left that in there because it's a demo and they didn't care. So we'll see what happens in the end. So what are you guys' thoughts on all of these topics that we discussed here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.